But this campaign will be conducted coast to coast across America, 4 Canadian provinces, 3 Australian states. Can you say "G'day, mate"? And Northern Ireland will be joining with Dayton. So even when you are out here, let's give God a hand for what He's doing. Even when you are out here by yourself, praying and wondering if it's making a difference, somebody in 165 other cities will be also praying, lifting you up as you are lifting them up. And together, God will answer those prayers. I just want to end with one story that really moved my heart. It was the story of a lady and her daughter in Providence, Rhode Island. Joanne was the mother and Eleanor was the daughter. Joanne heard about 40 Days for Life and she said, "Wow, this sounds like a great idea." And so she decided to sign up for the campaign, sure that everybody she knew would want to get involved. She went to her pastor and she said, "Look, let me tell you all about this." And the pastor says, "Oh, we can't get involved in that. That's a political thing." So she ran to some of the local political organizations, and what did they say? "We can't get involved in that. That's a religious thing." So she started talking to friends and family members, and just hardly anybody wanted to get involved in their 40 Days for Life. And so most of the hours of their 40 days, it was either Joanne or Eleanor or the two of them out there at that vigil. And as our family's been traveling all across the country these last few years, Providence was one of the places we were blessed to go to. And when we got to Providence, it was just Eleanor and Joanne out there at that Planned Parenthood abortion facility. And when we joined them on the sidewalk there, they shared with us how the workers had come out, how they ridiculed them, how they spit on them, how the people driving by would wave at them and tell them, "You're number one," with their hand gestures. I think that's what they were trying to say. But they shared that in the entire time they had been out there, they had not seen one sign that anything they were doing was making a difference. But they said, "You know, Mother Teresa said we're not called to be successful, we're called to be what? Faithful. So we're going to be faithful." And indeed they were. They persevered through the rest of those 40 days. And at the end of the campaign, I had to know, had they seen any fruit from their efforts? Had it gotten any better? And so I called Joanne and Eleanor, and they said, "No, it really never changed. But you know what? It was a blessing for us to be involved, and we just trust that God did something with it." And it just ached in my heart for them, because I knew these two women had poured so much of themselves into that 40-day campaign. And I just wanted so much for them to have gotten a sign that it had meant something to their community. It was a few months later when finally they found out that that little tiny mustard seed of faith did move a mountain. Because a local pastor called them and said, I just had to tell you this great news. A young couple came to me and they're about to give birth to a baby boy, and they've asked me to baptize him when he's born. And they told me that they had gone to that Planned Parenthood abortion facility during your 40-day campaign. And when they got there, the two of you were praying on the sidewalk outside. They never talked to you, and they went right inside because they felt they absolutely had to have the abortion. As they were sitting there in the waiting room, filling out their paperwork, it hit them. Those two ladies outside are praying for us right now. And they decided they could not go through with it, and they dropped their clipboard off at the desk, said, "We're not going to do it," and they left, and they never told you. But this pastor said, "I wanted you to know they've named their baby Robert. He's about to be born. He's perfect in every way, and I'm sending you an email with the 4D ultrasound picture of this beautiful baby boy who is alive because of your faithfulness." And Joanne and Eleanor sent us that picture. And as my family and I looked at that little picture of that beautiful boy, Robert, about to be born, in that 4D ultrasound, we saw his face and we saw his little hands, and we saw that beautiful gift of life made in God's image and likeness. We realized that if it hadn't been for that tiny seed of faith of two women who were willing to endure challenge after challenge and frustration and setback and disappointment after disappointment, that little boy would not be alive today. And that same thing can happen for you. And my prayer is that one day you will know the fruit of your prayers and your faithfulness. Maybe it will be in this campaign. Maybe it will be shortly thereafter. Maybe it will not be during our time here on earth. But I believe through our faithfulness, as we pull out all the stops over these next 40 days, as we do everything we can do, we pray, we fast, we stand vigil, we conduct outreach, and we do everything to help all of these pro-life ministries in town, I believe we are going to see a tipping point in Dayton, in Ohio, and in our nation. And I believe that this will mark forever the time frame that marked the beginning of the end of abortion in our nation. It can happen if we have the faith. So God bless you. Let's stay the course. I can't wait to hear all the great success reports from Dayton and share them with everybody else around the nation. But know that our family, as Claire mentioned, we are praying for you every single day as we get ready for bed at night. And we ask that you keep us and all the other 40 Days for Life campaigns in your prayers as well. And together, let's make 2010 that turning point year that will forever be marked in the history books as when the beginning of the end of abortion began. Thank you and God bless.